your whole policy is built on your values. If you followed lesson 1 on how to write your policy, it always refers back to your organizational values. So should your interim measures. The one thing that you should never say, and drives me crazy, is when someone says, well, that's how we've always done it. That's not a value. How you've always done it isn't a value. You have to be able to change. You have to be able to adapt. This is not a situation that you always have. So how you've always done it doesn't fit. That's not a good thing to say. It's not a good business excuse, and it's not a good or valid reason in a misconduct case either. You're not concerned about how you've always done it. You are concerned about what you can do to help your employee to be successful. Remember, you're helping your own business. By helping your employee be successful, you are helping your business. You are keeping an employee gainfully employed and productive, so they're doing the job that makes you money. This is benefiting you as well. So if the proposed solution, even if it's not what you've always done, if it fits within your values, go for it. It's okay. You can do it. You're still running a business. You still have to worry about the bottom line. You're worrying about profit. You're worrying about payroll. You're worrying about growth. All of your business concerns still exist, and they should still exist. Misconduct response shouldn't take over your business. It's an aspect that, if done correctly and properly, helps your business. So an investigation should, yes, it's going to interfere a little bit with kind of, you need to talk to this employee at this point. Maybe you need your IT to pull emails at some point, so it takes them away from the normal job for a little bit. But the process as a whole shouldn't change your ability day to day to be a successful business and to manufacture your product or to provide your service or whatever it is you do. That investigation process is happening in the background, just like a bunch of business processes. The goal of interim measures is to keep the business running. It's to keep both employees working. So keep that in mind. Make sound business decisions. Don't put something that is going to bankrupt you and then come back and say, well, yeah, but this is what they asked for, so I had to do it. No one is saying that. No one is telling that you have to do something that is going to hurt your business, because the whole point is to help you, to help your employees, to help your business. So be human about it. Yes, it's a business, but you are dealing with a human being who has gone through something difficult or traumatic. So remember that when you're talking to them, when you're negotiating or talking through possible interim measures. With NCIS, I did many years on the Family and Sexual Violence Unit. For a couple of years, I was specifically on the Child Exploitation Unit. Those are very difficult cases, both just technically and emotionally. They're just difficult cases to work. So a lot of these crimes are some of the worst, the most horrible crimes that you can imagine. And so when you have someone come in and a suspect, and you're talking to them, you're asking them to confess to you, to admit to you that they did this thing that you and pretty much everyone, society, considers horrific. There's this fear, they have this fear that you are going to think of them as a monster, that they don't deserve to be treated like a human being because they did this horrible thing. But you can't treat people that way. They're human. They are human beings with feelings. They deserve to be treated with respect and dignity, even though they may have done something horrendous and horrific. And when you take the investigations course and we talk about interviewing, We'll talk more about why that's so important for a successful interview, but just as a human being, that's important. And so it's a difficult thing. It's not everyone can do that. It's something that requires experience and patience and practice and determination to talk about these difficult topics with people and to treat them with respect and dignity and empathy throughout the conversation. Not everyone can do it. But there were multiple times when, after someone confessed to a horrendous crime, or, for example, confessed to downloading child pornography, which are child sex abuse images, one of the hardest things they've ever had to do was admit to a stranger that they did this. And yet they would walk out of the room at the end and thank me. And that sounds totally backwards or crazy, but because I treated them with dignity and respect, and that's not what they expected from watching TV shows and movies and talking to friends. They expected to be yelled at, to be screamed at, to be called a monster. They had this horrible anticipation of what was going to happen, but then they found out that actually I was just a human being that treated them like a human being, and we had a tough conversation, but I didn't treat them or call them a monster. And so they thanked me. Thank you for treating, thank you for listening, thank you for talking to me, thank you for how you treated me. And then I knew that I had done my job properly because I treated them with respect and dignity. You're not dealing with that level of misconduct, most likely. But both parties still deserve to be treated with respect and dignity, not only in that initial meeting, but throughout the process. They need to feel like that you, as the representative of their employer, did everything possible to help them succeed at work. Even if at the end the respondent is found in violation of the policy and is fired or dismissed, they feel like you did everything you could to help them be successful, to give them a fair shot, to listen to them, to give them a voice during the investigation. One party's always going to be unhappy. Don't give them a reason to be unhappy with how they were treated. They may not like the outcome, but they shouldn't have anything to complain about with how they were treated. Your employees want to be successful. They took the job because they want to do the job. They want to do a good job. Just like when I was working with students, they had anticipated their whole life going to college and getting this degree and a career. They wanted to pass their classes. They wanted to be successful. They wanted to do their homework. They were just in a bad situation where they were having a hard time doing it. They were having a hard time focusing, feeling safe doing that. So if your employee is being impacted by misconduct and is not being productive, they want to be. They will be if you come up with a reason or a solution or some sort of measure that will help them be successful. It might take some effort on your part. It might take a little bit of time. May have to spend, their supervisor or manager may have to do a little bit of extra work to help them through this. But they want to be successful. You want them to be successful. It helps your business. It helps your employees. It really is a win-win situation for both. So if you aren't implementing interim measures now, I would highly recommend that you do so, that you include those in your policy, because they help your employees and they help your business. All right. So that's our lesson on interim measures. The ebook Tips for Leaders in Preparing for Misconduct should still be the ebook that you're reading and working through. The exercises there. If you are doing this as part of a course, you receive the ebook as part of that course. If not, the ebook is available on my website to obtain. Again, if you're doing it as part of the course, there is a quiz for lesson 5 for this lesson. And there are also there's a supplemental video online for this lesson talking about the importance of being human when you are working with your employees on interim measures. Our next lesson is concurrent law enforcement involvement. So we will talk about what to do or how to react if you are working your administrative misconduct case, but there's also a law enforcement criminal case happening at the same time. Some tips on how to make that successful and build those relationships with law enforcement in your area. So that will be our next lesson. At the Williams Consulting Group and through our training academy, we're here to help you protect what is valuable to you, to protect the people that you work with, to protect your organization. So however we can do that, however we can help you, let us know.